What is up, you guys? Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin. I hope that you'll consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So today's video is going to be a celebrity makeup look recreation. So this was probably a couple weeks ago at this point on my makeup artist Instagram at Glam by Devin Gregorio. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar. I posted just a bunch of celebrity makeup looks and took a poll on my Instagram story of which looks people would potentially like to see me recreate. And I did recreate this look already, but I didn't film like a full tutorial on it. I just filmed kind of like a quick reel with it. If I can figure out how to post like a screen recording, I will. But that being said, I did want to sit down and film a full tutorial of the recreation in case anyone was interested in kind of that longer form version of that content. So it's probably in the thumbnail, but if you haven't seen the look already, this is the look that is the inspiration for today. So it's a look by Patrick Ta. I love his work. I definitely want to try out some of his products. And he does a lot of work with Shay Mitchell, so they have tons of inspo looks together, and I just absolutely love it. So if you're interested in seeing kind of my interpretation of this look, definitely stay tuned. The palette that I'm going to be using today is the Juvia's Place, the coffee... let me not drop it. Oh, stay in one piece. The palette that I'm going to be using today is the Juvia's Place Coffee Shop palette. I tried to resist this when it launched. I tried so hard because I was like, you do not need more brown eyeshadow. You don't. But I mean, just look at it. First of all, I love the vibe. Coffee is my vibe. I have used this palette a couple times off of camera, but obviously this will be my first time using it on camera today. So if you're interested in this palette, this will be a nice little tutorial for you as well. So I have rambled on long enough. If you want to see me recreate this look, let's get right into it. All right, we're zoomed in so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Ignore my brows. I haven't cleaned them up yet this week. I have to literally clean up my brows every like 3 or 4 days or they get out of control, but hopefully nobody notices. Okay, so I'm just getting a little bit of my P. Louise and I'm going to prime my eyelids with this. Okay, starting it off here, I'm going to take this shade. None of these shades have names, so I'm just going to point. And there's no mirror either, so I have to kind of like switch hands, but totally fine. So I'm just going to use this light shade to set my primer down. Rarely, you will never find me doing an eyeshadow look without setting my primer. I know some people like to keep their primer tacky, but I just can't do that. I like to have it set so that I can blend really nicely on top of it and not worry about it going on too heavy in any one particular spot. Okay, so the benefit of me having attempted this look one time already before doing it in this tutorial is that I have like some adjustments in mind that I want to make for the look. So this is going to be one of them. So before I go in with any more eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with my NYX retractable eye pencil. This is just in the shade brown. Any brown eyeliner, it really doesn't matter. Just any brown eyeliner that you have, or if you want it to be a little bit deeper, you can absolutely go in with a black too. So I'm going to use this as a base, so don't worry about being neat for this, but I am going to work this along my lash line. Again, it can be messy because we're going to smudge it out in a second, but what this is going to do, when I did the smoky eye with just the eyeshadow the last time, I just felt like I wanted a little bit more depth from it, like how, because in this picture, I'll put a picture on the screen just for reference, but in the picture, it's very deep. You know, it's a very deep smoky eye. Like, they did not hold back. So I just want to put a little bit of eyeliner underneath. One, this helps give a little extra staying power and like gripping power underneath the eyeshadow, but it also will just help darken it up for us. Okay. Again, not worried about being neat. So then I'm going to find a brush, something like this. This is from BH Cosmetics. I don't know if you can get it anymore, but that's the shape of it. You know, just, what do I always say? Use whatever you have. And I'm just going to take this and just kind of, again, not worried about being super neat, but I'm just going to smudge this up onto my lid. So So see how we're just already kind of like, this is where it was looking really harsh. And here we're just starting to build up that smokiness at the very beginning. So I'm just trying to bring it up onto my lid a little bit without putting it like super dark and concentrated all over my lid, because as we get further up, again, this is a very blown out smoky look. So as we get further up, I really want to transition the shadows from dark to light so you get that effect without it just being like a super dark brown all over your lid with no dimension to it. Okay, so again, looking at this reference picture, it's actually not a super warm toned smoky eye. I feel like he actually used a lot of more neutral browns. Like it's definitely not cool toned, but it's not that super like rusty colored orange, or brown, that like orangey brown. It's more of like a deep neutral brown. So, and there's definitely a few of those browns in this palette. So I'm gonna go into this one here. And again, here's my brush, just in case you're curious of like the shape that I'm using or whatever. I am not technical about my brushes, sorry guys. So I'm just kind of going over top of where I already placed the eyeliner, and then I am, for my eye shape, because my eyes are deep set, I want to leave some room on my lid for like some lighter shades, because otherwise my eyes will look really sunken in if this whole look is really dark on my eyelids. So this is where you can kind of customize it to what you want for your eye shape. If you have like prominent eyes, or if you have an eye shape that can handle more darkness on the lid, you could absolutely put this all over. I am gonna try to, again, go over where I had the eyeliner smudge, but then also bring this up a little bit just in the outer corner of my lid to still get that definition and that depth in the outside, but leaving some room to have just some lighter browns on the inside so my eye doesn't look super crazy and closed off. So I am just slowly bringing this up onto my brow bone and kind of extending it out from the outer corner. The name of the game today for this look is just going to be blending, 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 but it is a dramatic eye look, so we're going for it. And then for me, again, because I have deep set eyes, so I have a nice thick brow bone here. Like I have more brow bone space here than I feel like most people have. Bringing some of this darker color up onto my brow bone is actually going to help me kind of like push it back a little bit, almost like we're contouring it. That's essentially what we're doing. But again, I am going to focus it here so that I can bring some lighter shades in here to still keep my eye kind of bright. So here is where I'm starting to work a little bit carefully. Again, we are going to blend, but there is a certain shape that I'm trying to create, which again is that kind of like nice blown out lifted smoky eye. So I do want to be kind of careful how I'm placing this like super deep shade, if that makes sense. Can you guys kind of see the difference between the eyes? So I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye and I'll come right back. Okay, next I'm going to jump into this shade right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on camera, but in person, definitely in comparison to like these two shades, this is a lot less of an orangey brown. It definitely leans a little bit more neutral. I feel like it still looks a little warm on camera, but in person it looks a little bit more neutral. So I am getting this on a Luxie 209 large shader brush, and I am gonna get this all over my lid to start, and I'm really gonna work on just kind of like blending that in. We really built a nice base with this color with the eyeliner and the shadow on top, so you can really allow yourself to kind of just like blend it in, because we're not gonna really lose any of that depth because we spend so much time kind of building it up. And again, because I have really deep set eyes, I'm just making sure I'm kind of like packing it into the crease where my brow bone kind of meets my eye socket, just to make sure that I don't have any like weird blank space or anything like that. All right, and then staying on that same color, I'm picking up a Sigma E40 blending brush, and I just want to take like a little bit of that color, not too much, and I am just gonna start working this through the crease. Again, because this look is very blown out and smoky, I really want the colors in the crease to be like transitional and not just one dark color. And then of course, if I feel like I want to bring back some of that depth, I can take the brush that I was using with that initial color and work that in. Like I said earlier, the name of the game is definitely blending, and you can decide for yourself if you're doing this on your own eyes where you want to stop. Like you can kind of decide what's enough for you. Okay, so to be honest, I think that I'm going to go back on my word a little bit, and I feel like I just want a little bit more neutral on the lid and not so much like warmth. I feel like that color is just reading pretty warm. So she has her eyes open in this picture. I have no idea if she has a shimmer on the lid or not, but I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna take this shade up here, and I'm getting this on a Sigma E55. Really great for just packing a shimmer on the lid. And I'm just gonna kind of lightly dust that all over the lid to give it a little bit more dimension and to just neutralize that color a little bit. Again, we're taking inspo from the look. Obviously, I did not watch Patrick Ta do this. I have no idea what he used. I have no idea what palettes he used. And I'm not Shay Mitchell, so it's never gonna look exactly the same, but it's fun to just take inspo and recreate. Yeah, so can you kind of see the difference between this eye and this eye? This is giving me more of the vibe of the photo than this was, so I like it. And I'm not using a ton of shimmer. I'm not trying to make it look super metallic or anything crazy. I'm just lightly packing it on and spreading it out, again, just to get more of that neutral brown look on the lid. Okay, I feel like I want just like a little bit something more through the crease, so I'm gonna come down to this shade right here. I know it probably looks, oh wait, I need to get another brush. Okay, like I was saying, I'm gonna come down to this shade right here on a clean blending brush. I know that this probably looks like kind of like a funky color, but it's gonna just be a little something through the crease to blow the look out a little bit more without it being like too dark. You're kind of barely gonna be able to see it. I'm just, you know, that like real sound, light sound that's like, I just do the things what I do. That's me right now. Using this color in the crease. Okay, so now I'm going to take a makeup wipe and just softly clean up the edges. I'm like using a very light touch because I don't want this to be a super harsh line, but I also don't want it like getting all in my concealer and stuff while I'm doing my base makeup. So just using a very, very light touch with kind of like the side of my finger and just lightly dragging it up towards my temple. And I'm leaving it a little bit below, like I'm not starting at the outer corner. I'm leaving some color a little bit below my corner because that is going to give us a guide just of where to connect it underneath once we've done our base makeup. So that's just a little tip. So with all of that being said, I am going to go ahead and do my face and my brows, and then we'll come back and finish up the eyes. We'll do lashes and lips, and that'll be, you know, the agenda for the rest of this video. So I will see you guys in just a few minutes. Okay friends, we're back with the face done. So I'm gonna take my brown eyeliner again, and I'm just gonna work that into my waterline. Okay, and then I'm going to take my handy dandy Luxie 221 flat definer. I'm going to go back into the first shade that we used for this look, and I'm going to go right along the waterline, well, more like right along my lash line, right underneath the waterline, and I'm going to pack that in. I'm going to be probably a little bit more generous with this than I normally would be, because again, this look is very smoked out on the top, it's very smoked out on the bottom, so you really can go for it. All right, I'm gonna take a little tiny blending brush here, clean to start, and I'm just gonna start smoking that out. The reason that I'm starting with it clean is because I wanna see how much it spreads out on its own, and then if I wanna build that color up, I can. Okay, yeah, so that spread out decently on its own. I think I'm gonna take like the tiniest little dab, like literally just like that. Maybe one more. And I just wanna build it up a little bit. So I'm gonna start in the outer corner because that's definitely where I want like the most smokiness. And then I'm gonna work it in. And I like to keep this area kind of open because otherwise I feel like if I bring it all the way in, it does kind of drag my eye down a little bit. So I like to leave this area open for a nice inner corner highlight. Okay, so looking at the picture, it does look like he has a nice brow bone highlight and inner corner highlight to this look. This palette doesn't really have a shade like that. Like, this is really the only bright shade in the palette, at least for my skin tone. So there's no bright shimmer in there. So I'm just gonna take the same highlight that I have on my face, which is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Balm Loose Highlighter. This is probably my favorite highlighter of all time. It's intense, but I like it that way. So I'm just going to take a little brush like this, something precise, and I'm just going to get some of that highlight on the tip of it, and I'm going to pop that in my inner corner. And a little bit up under the brow bone as well. I'm like trying to be dainty with it because this highlight is intense, so I don't want to get too much, but then I feel like by doing that, I'm like not getting enough on my brush. Okay, that is it for the eyes, at least the eyeshadow. So let's get some mascara on. I'm gonna use my Tarte Maneater Waterproof Mascara. Mentioned this in my last video too. I've been using it a ton, loving it, and it's really no surprise to me that I do because I really loved the original Maneater mascara formula for a long time. So I am gonna put lashes on, so I'm not too worried about how my natural lashes look right now, but I just want to give them a nice coat to give the falsies something to lay nicely on top of. For lashes today, I'm going to try out this style from ColourPop. This is the Honey style. I don't want anything too big and dramatic for this look because the look itself is already very dramatic. So I don't want lashes that are going to cover this up. I just want something that's going to be nice and complimentary. And looking at the inspiration picture, I do feel like that is probably what Patrick did on Shay as well, because it doesn't look like her lashes are overtaking the look by any means. So I am going to pop these on off of camera and I will be right back. Okay. These are cute. Honestly, this is kind of like a My Lashes But Better situation right now because they're not really much longer than my natural lashes at all. They're just giving me like a little something extra. But again, with this dramatic of an eyeshadow look, I am not upset about that. If I could have my perfect lash, like if I could ask ColourPop to make like a Honey Plus style, I would want a little bit more length. But again, because of the drama of the eye, I love that these lashes are just kind of adding a little something without overpowering the entire look. So I do feel like these are a vibe. I like them. So in this inspo pic, again, I'll pop it back up on the screen just so you can see for reference. She definitely has like a nice kind of creamy, glossy, nudie nude lip. And I feel like the undertone of her lip is a little bit warm leaning as opposed to like a cool tone nude. So I am gonna break out my trusty ColourPop BFF lip pencil. I have talked about this a million times. I recommend it to everybody. I have 2 of them in my kit. I use them on clients all the time. I just absolutely love it. I just used this on my bride last week actually, and she said after her trial she went and bought it and she's been loving it, and she like doesn't even wear makeup like that. So if you do not own this, it is so freaking good. So I'm gonna line my lips with this. Then when I bought this palette, this collection also came with a bunch of coffee shop lip glosses. So I think I bought like 3 or 4 of the glosses. But this one is called Dolce Latte, and it is a very kind of warm leaning nudie nude, like I was just saying. So I'm just gonna top my lips off with this, and I think it'll kind of lighten them up a little bit and achieve a similar effect as what Shay Mitchell is wearing in the picture. Okay, so honestly, that didn't lighten it up as much as I was kind of expecting it to or hoping it would. I don't really feel like digging through my collection to look for a lipstick and like to lighten it up and redo it. But I think if I were feeling that, I would go for kind of like, I have this color in my kit from MAC, it's called Creme de Nude, and it's a very just like warm leaning, like nudie nude. So I would pop like a really light nude in the center if I wanted to be a little less lazy than I'm being right now. But to be honest with you, I still think that this lip looks great with this eye. So I'm gonna leave it. All right, you guys, finished look. Here we are. What do we think? Honestly, I'm vibing with it right now. I really do like it. I think it turned out really glam. I love the undertones, and I definitely like the way that I recreated this look this time better than my first attempt at it, which was how I did it when I filmed the original like reel on my Instagram. So as far as just like a quick note on this palette, the performance of this palette, I have zero complaints. I think that the shadows performed beautifully. They blended out. They weren't hard to blend. I didn't find myself like wanting more pigment from them or anything. This is just, you know, this palette is just kind of like my warm smoky eye, brown smoky eye dream. So if you're into that, check this palette out. It's absolutely stunning. And also, if you want to see more looks with this, let me know for sure. I have really cut back on my palette buying, so I definitely want to do more with what I have as opposed to constantly buying new products in general, but especially palettes, because you really can never go through an entire eyeshadow palette. It's impossible. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more with this. I am absolutely happy to do it. Again, there's like a vibe to it, but I also feel like it's versatile in the fact that I could get a lot of different looks out of just this palette. So let me know, girl. You let me know and I'll do it for you. If you have made it this far in the video and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below, and you can also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads from me. And definitely give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. One, it lets me know what kind of content you guys like, and two, the engagement does help me out in the ether that is the YouTube algorithm. So I appreciate any kind of engagement with my content in that way. It's such a little thing, but not everybody does it, and it really does help out your favorite YouTubers. So just a little shameless plug there. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have two places in which you can follow me. The first is my makeup artist Instagram, where I post a lot of my bridal client work and content related to that. So if you're interested in that, that is at Glam by Devin Gregorio. I'll put it here on the screen so you can see it. And then if you're interested in more of just kind of like me, my Dev Greg's account has become like just me as an everyday person. So my other random interests and things like that is my personal Instagram, which is at DevGreg, so you can keep in touch with me over there as well. So I am going to go run. No, I'm not gonna run, but Napa girl needs a WALK. Right, baby girl? Yeah, she's sleeping behind me, but Napa needs to go OUT. I have to spell all the words because she recognizes them and knows what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you for watching. Love you so much. I'll catch you on my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.